They offered him peace, not the fragile kind that breaks with time, but the permanent kind, a peace enforced by certainty, by decision, by a single will, a throne that would silence war, end uncertainty, and decide once and for all who deserved to remain. He understood the offer. He understood what it would cost. And that is why he refused. Welcome to Whisper Tales AI, where ancient gods, forgotten myths, and buried truths return from silence. These are not stories of heroes. They are stories of consequence. Listen carefully. When the gods vanished, the world waited for collapse. It never came. The sky did not fall. The seas did not swallow the land. Instead, something quieter happened. Wars slowed. Borders settled. Cities rebuilt themselves. Among the bones of legend, people learned to decide again. And yet, beneath all that rebuilding, something remained unfinished. At the center of the realms, untouched by fire or forgetting, stood the throne. The throne had survived Ragnarok. That alone should have frightened them. It was forged before endings, when the gods still believed order could be permanent. It was not built to inspire loyalty. It was built to eliminate doubt, to decide faster than fear, to rule before mercy could interfere. Those who created it called this wisdom. Those who remembered the old power gathered in the ruins, not gods, but beings who had survived them. They argued long into the night about chaos, about responsibility, about whether choice was worth its cost. And finally, they agreed on something dangerous. The throne should not rule itself. Someone must sit. They did not choose the strongest. They chose the one who listened, a god without temples, without followers, without hunger for remembrance. He walked among mortals, without being recognized. He observed wars without joining them, peace without claiming credit. They believed this restraint made him incorruptible. They believed understanding made him safe. They brought him to the throne. Gold rose before him, like a promise that had waited centuries. Runes glowed softly, not with threat, but with certainty. They showed him visions, cities without war, borders without conflict, a world where decisions were final. They called it peace. They called it mercy. They called it necessary. He did not see peace. He saw a future without hesitation, without doubt, without the space where mercy lives. Every decision would narrow him. Every command would erase a voice. Every victory would make compassion harder to recognize. He saw himself become smaller. With every necessary choice, they expected hesitation, a pause, a negotiation. They did not expect refusal. He stepped back, not in anger, not in fear, but in understanding. Power does not ask who you are. It decides who you become. And he refused to become that. The throne remained empty. No coronation followed. No command was given. The council fractured. Some called him a coward. Others called him wise. The world was left with its hardest burden. Choice. Without a ruler, the world stumbled. Mistakes were made. Wars returned smaller, slower. But something changed. When peace came, it was chosen. When order formed, it was agreed upon. And because of that, it endured. The throne still stands, hidden, waiting, not because it must rule, but because temptation never dies. Power is patient. Perhaps the greatest power is not ruling, but knowing when not to. Not every world needs a god. Some need restraint. You have stood before this choice before, in smaller ways, when certainty tempted you, when control felt safer than compassion. That is where this story lives. This has been a whisper tale. If you are drawn to forgotten gods, ancient myths, and stories buried by time, subscribe to Whisper Tales AI and tell me, would you have taken the throne or walked away?